Hello, dear students. I welcome all of you in the first online lecture for SYBSC Chemistry Paper First, which is entitled as CH301 Physical and Inorganic Chemistry. I welcome all of you on behalf of my college, Arts, Commerce and Science College, Bodhwad. Myself, Srimati Kanchan Damade, from Department of Chemistry of Arts, Commerce and Science College, Bodhwad. I hope you all are safe in this COVID 19 pandemic. I request all of you to please take care of yourself and stay safe and stay healthy at your home. So, come to the syllabus. In this online lecture, we will first see the introduction of whole syllabus for chemistry paper first, physical and inorganic chemistry of semester first in the academic year 2020-21. So, in this syllabus, the first chapter is solution. Solution chapter is quite difficult to understand, but if you put a deep concentration, you can understand this chapter easily. So, you know what is solution? We know the definition of solution. Solution is a mixture of solute and solvent. So when a small quantity of solute is dissolved in large quantity of solvent, then we get solution. So in this solution chapter, the first subtopic we will see about introduction, then solubility, then factor affecting solubility, then types of solution, different way of expressing the concentration of solution. After then we will learn about ideal and non-ideal solution, Raoult law and its limitation. See, the ideal and non-ideal solution is depend on the Raoult law statement. So Raoult law is very important in this chapter and it is very important in the view of examination preparation also. Then we will see the vapor pressure of actual liquid pair, then vapor pressure of ideal solution. After then we will learn the classification of binary solution of completely miscible liquid. We have to learn about three type of binary miscible solution, type 1, type 2 and type 3. This type 1, type 2 and type 3 is classified on the basis of the different shapes of curve, that is vapor pressure curve of binary solution of completely miscible liquids pairs. This is depends on basis of Raoult law. Then we will see the boiling point diagram of miscible binary mixture. Miscible binary mixture, dear students, you know what is miscible binary mixture. When two component get completely miscible in each other, then we will call them as miscible binary mixture. So they have different boiling point diagrams. So the topic is boiling point diagram of miscible binary mixture. After then we will see distillation of binary miscible solution. You know what is distillation? Distillation is a separation of two liquid from mixture. Then we will see azeotrophs. Azeotroph is a byproduct of distillation assembly. Then we will see the fractionating column. After fractionating column, we will learn solubility of partially miscible liquid pair. Then phase diagram of phenol water system. Then triethylamine water and then nicotine water system. This three system is very important in the view of preparation of examination. Dear students, to study this whole chapter 1, we need 10 lectures and it has weightage of 20 marks. 20 marks is for compulsory questions and 30 marks is for questions with options. So we have to concentrate on this chapter very highly. Then second chapter is colligative property. See, colligative property is very easy to understand and easy to learn, and it is very important to qualify examination with high score. So colligative properties has subtopic first is introduction, then lowering of vapor pressure of solvent, Lowering of vapor pressure of solvent is a first colligative property. Dear students, the colligative property means the properties which depends on number of solute particle but not on the nature of solvent. So first colligative property is lowering of vapor pressure of solvent. After then, this lowering of vapor pressure of solvent is useful to calculate the molecular weight of solute. So second topic will be calculation of molecular weight of solute. Then boiling point elevation of solution. Boiling point elevation of solution is a second colligative property. Then we will learn the calculation of molecular weight of solute from boiling point elevation of solution. Third colligative property is freezing point depression of solution. So by using this freezing point depression of solution, we will learn calculation of molecular weight of solute from depression in freezing point. The fourth colligative property is osmosis and osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure is the fourth colligative property. So from osmosis and osmotic pressure, we have to understand the next subtopic, relation of osmotic pressure to vapor pressure. Then Venthoff equation for osmotic pressure. Then Landsberger method for determination of elevation of boiling point. This is the experimental topic. Then Beckmann's method for determination of depression in freezing point. This is also a small experiment. Then last experiment is Barkley and Hartley method, which is useful to measure the osmotic pressure. After then, the general topic is solution of electrolytes. You know what is electrolytes and non-electrolytes. Then the last topic is colligative properties of electrolyte. So this chapter is very important for preparation of examination. This chapter requires 10 lecture to complete and it has a weightage of 20 marks. Similarly chapter 1. So 20 marks is for compulsory question and 30 marks is for questions with option. Then the part 2 of chemistry paper first is inorganic chemistry. In this inorganic chemistry, we have chapter 3. In part 2 it is chapter 1, but from whole paper we can understand that it is a chapter 3. The name of the 3 chapter is the D block element. So in this D block element, we have to learn about element of first, second and third transition series. Then general characteristic of D block element. So D block element means the element belongs to D block of periodic table. We will see in further lecture. So the properties which we have to learn in this chapter is metallic characters, molar volume and densities, atomic radii, ionic radii, melting and boiling point, ionization energy, reactivity, oxidation states, standard electrode potential, reducing properties, color, magnetic properties, catalytic properties, tendency to form complex. All these properties of D block element we have to learn in this chapter, which is belongs to inorganic chemistry. So this chapter also require 10 lecture to complete and a marks of 20 or 30. 20 marks is for compulsory question and 30 marks is for question with option. So this is the marks distribution according to CBCS pattern of chemistry paper first. The name of the course is CH301 Physical and Inorganic Chemistry. This is your core course. It requires lecture 30 and it has a marks distribution of 40 and 60. 40 marks is for internal examination and 60 marks is for external examination and it has a credit of 2. So this is the marks distribution table for chemistry paper first of semester 3rd. So now come to the online classes of chemistry 1. See student, we will conduct online classes for chemistry 1 on chapter 3, that is D block element. It is very easy to understand on online method, so that's why I have selected chapter 3 D block element for study online. So some important terms are there to learn of D block element. So first is metal. Metal is an element that readily form positive ion and has a metallic bonds. So when any element form positive ion, it means it has a nature to lose electron easily. So metal are the substance which lose electron easily to form cations. That's why we can say metal is an element which can lose electron easily. Okay, there are some example of metals: copper, iron, aluminium, silver, etc. Now come to non-metals. Non-metal is an element that can readily accept electron, completely vice versa of metals. So non-metal is an element that can readily accept electron and can form negative ions easily. Example: hydrogen, helium, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon. All the elements which are not a metal, they all are non-metals. So now come to what is D block element. So definition of D block element is the element having outermost electron present in D subshell are called as D block element. Same way we can define S block element also. Element having outermost electron in S subshell is called as S block element. Example: sodium, potassium has outer electron in S shell or energy level. So S block element definition is depends on the presence of last electron in outermost shell. If the outermost shell is S, then that element belongs to S block element. If the outermost electron is present in P shell, then that element belongs to P block element. And if outermost electron is present in F block element, then it is called as F block element. Sorry, F subshell. If the outermost electron is present in F subshell, then that element is called as F block element. So these are the bifurcation of element according to the S shell, D shell, P shell, F shell. These shells are nothing but they are energy levels. S has lowest energy level, then P has somewhat higher energy level than S. After P, D has higher energy level, and after D the highest energy level is of F. So the sequence of energy level is S, P, D, F in increasing order of energies. You can see here the S block element has outermost electron in S shell. In P block element, the outermost electron is present in P shell. In D block element, the outermost electron is present in D shell. And in F block, the outermost electron is present in F shell. So see, the D block element is called as transition elements, and they are present from group 3 to group 10. You can see in this picture where S block element is present in group 1 and 2. This P block element are present in group 11 to 18. 17, while group 18 is called as noble gases. This noble gases has completely filled outermost shell. That's why they are inert, and hence they are put in last column of periodic table, that is group 18, and they are considered as inert gases. So S block and P block element, you can see they are called as representative element, and F block element are called as inner transition element. So we revise it. S block element, P block element is called as representative element, and D block element is called as transition element, while F block element is called as inner transition element. See students, D block element, why it is called as transition element? Because they are present in between S and P. So it is present in S and P, that's why they are called as transition, because transition state is in between two state, initial and final state. So transition state is a middle state. So D block is present in middle of the periodic table. It is considered as transition element. And transition element, due to this transition element, we can define F block element as an inner transition element. See, in the configuration, D shell is outer with respect to F shell. See the configuration of F block element. D shell is outer with respect to F. F is inner to D. That's why F block element is called as inner transition element. So this is the division of different elements in the periodic table. Can we revise it again? See, S block element present in group 1 and 2, P block element present in group 11 to 17, noble gases is present in group 18, D block element is present in group 3 to 10, and F block is present in period, that is 6th and 7th. You know what is period and what is group in periodic table. Horizontal rows are periods and vertical columns are groups. So be concentrated while studying the periodic table. Now see, what if the electron filled in last subshell? See, electrons filled in last subshell decide the block of element. If the element is present in S block element, if the electron is present in S outer shell, then they are called as S block element. If the outer electron is present in D shell, then it is called as D block element. If the outer electron is present in P shell, then they are called as P block element. And if the outer electron is present in F shell, then they are called as F block element. See, F block element are present in the 6th and 7th period. You can see in this picture, the yellow color represent F block element, yellow color. So 6th period elements are called as lanthanide series, and 7th period elements are called as actinide series. Lanthanide series has outer electron filled in 4f subshell, while in actinide series outer electron is present in 5f shell. See, in first period, see, pink color. In pink color, first period, outer electron is present in 1s shell. In second period, outer electron is present in 2s shell. In third period, outer electron is present in 3s subshell. In fourth period, outer electron is present in 4th subshell. Similarly, in 5th, 6th and 7th. With the increasing period, we can see the increase in the number of subshell. First period has 1s shell, second period has 1s, 2s, these two subshell. In third period, there is increase in subshell also, that is 1s, 2s and 3s. In this way, there is increase in the number of orbitals from 1s to 7s if we go from top to bottom. Same way in 3D series start from 4th period and it complete in 7th period. So 3D D block element are present in 4th period, 5th period, 6th period and 7th period. In 4th period, the outermost electron is entered in 3D shell. In 5th period, the outermost electron is present in 4D shell. In 6th period, the outer electron is present in 5D shell. And in 7th period, the outer electron is present in 6D shell. So there is 10 electron in each period. 10 element present in each of the series, that is 3D series, 4D series, 5D series and 6D series. So there are a total 40 D block elements. Similarly, in blue color we can see P block element. In second period we can see the outermost electron is present in 2p shell. In third period we can see the outer electron is present in 3p subshell. Similarly, if we go for 4p, 5p, 6p, the outermost electron are present in respective p subshell. So this is the orbitals filled in particular elements and decide which element belongs to which block. See the position of D block element. D block element are present in 4th period and the 4th period is called as 3D series, which contain element from scandium to zinc having atomic number 21 to 30. Second series, that is 4D series, present in 4th period of periodic table from element yttrium to cadmium, atomic number 39 to 48. In third series, that is 5D series, which is present in 6th period, the element is lutetium to mercury having atomic number 71 to 80. Same way, last series, that is 6D series, belongs to 6th period, lawrencium to 112 element. Okay? So this is the position of D block element in periodic table. So now see, this is a clear vision of all the 40 elements of D block. All the 10 elements which are present in first series, that is scandium to zinc, atomic number 21 to 30. First series is 3D series, then second series is 4D series from element yttrium to cadmium. Then we can see 5D series element from atomic number 72 to 80, hafnium to mercury, and then 6D series having ruthenium to element having atomic number 112. See, D block element are also called as transition element. I already explained you why the D block element is called as transition element. These D block element are all metals with their last two shell incompletely filled. See, in D block element, the outermost shell, that is D shell, is always incompletely filled. So last element of each series, that is zinc, cadmium, mercury, has completely filled D block completely filled D subshell. That's why they are not called as transition element. So here the first lecture is over, and I thank you for your patience hearing. Again I request you, all the students, please take care of yourself. Please stay safe, stay at home. Please keep yourself healthy. My wishes is always with you. Thank you, and thank you for patience hearing.